All right, guys, good afternoon. Good afternoon to wherever you are, whichever part of the world you may be. Good afternoon to you. Maybe good morning in some parts of the world as well. Shelly George is on with us already. Um, Wilmer Patterson is on the live with us already. So, good afternoon to you guys, wherever you may be. Thanks for tuning in the show today. Guess what? Every time we speak about topics like these, um, there are a lot of persons who are still in denial that you know the devil is in the details and that Hasatan is definitely playing his hand. Another lockdown. Sorry about that. I think we had some noise in the background there. All right, good. So another lockdown is coming. I am going to warn you guys that are on. Share the live, share the live, share the live. I'm gonna warn you guys that are on. Ray Mitchell, top of the afternoon to you as well. I'm gonna warn you guys that are on the live that this time around, please do not be fooled. I think a lot of us learned a lot from the last session that we had, where many of our friends have passed on, where many of our friends today are have some debilitating illness because of something that they took and placed inside of their bodies. The laws of health are very important, very, very important. And outside here where we live, there are things that can deal with those situations. The body can actually heal itself, but most importantly, the mind must be intact to heal the body. On this program, it's all about the three C's. You must be conscious, meaning that you must be aware of what's happening around you. You must have a conviction as to what's taking place inside of you or with you, and then you can get a call in to do the edification. It's that simple. And so I want to thank you guys for joining me today. I don't know how many of you have friends that have already passed on, left this world since they took that inside of their system. The arm juice, I call it, inside of their system. I don't know if you have friends that are sick. I don't know if you have friends that have died from that arm juice, but it did some nasty things around the world. I'm going to play a video to you from the Joe Rogan podcast. I think many of you may know him. Tyrone Magnus, of course, repeated it on his program, and I'm going to bring to you that video. It's very, very, very alarming, but I don't think it's alarming for many of us who are conscious and knew that that arm juice that I have on the screen right there, that arm juice that I have on the screen right there, I think many of us knew it was dangerous. And I'm quite sure many of you can share experiences about friends who took that arm juice and today have some debilitating problems that they never had before. So listen to this video, and then we're going to talk about the coming lockdown because they're getting prepared for it. And while we're being distracted with Trump and the tariff, while we're being distracted with Didi's trial, all of that, they have signed the pandemic treaty among all islands, all nations of this world. Okay? JJ is asking for persons with cleansers and stuff like that. If you took it, I'm gonna talk to you after about that. There's my number right there on the screen. Message me because there's certain things you really can't say on this platform because we know how the demons of this universe operate. There's certain things you just can't say really unless you're really big and large and they won't mind, they won't want to touch you. So the number on the screen, message me and I'll get in touch with you. Let's get share the live, guys. Share the live because this is very important today. And any one of you who wish to speak to me live on air, there's a link I pinned to the top of the chat there. It's right there right now. Once you click on that link, you will come in live on the show and you'll be able to speak with me. Maybe that's something that you really want to talk about. Right. So they have the big one come in. So plan ahead. All right. Shelly's correct. And JJ, yeah, once you do that, I'll get in touch with you. Listen to this video and then I'll get back to what I'm talking about. Listen to this video. Listen to this video. Cedric Antoine, top of the evening to you. Before I get into the video, let me give you this information quickly. Not this one, because this is the last one we're going to talk about. This one. A Florida study finds higher all-cause mortality after COVID juice compared to Modern. It's a critical examination, and it's a Florida study. And what did the Florida study say? They're finding higher all-cause mortality, mean deaths, after that arm juice compared to the other arm juice. And you're seeing on the screen, you can see what it is. Let's get into this right now. A new preprint study anchored by or authored by researchers from Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT. You may have heard about MIT before, and the Florida Department of Health has reignited the debate over the comparative safety of the mRNA COVID-19 vaccines. And now I can quote it because it's coming from a study. The study, which has not yet undergone peer review, reports significantly higher 12-month all-cause cardiovascular COVID-19 and COVID-19 mortality among Florida adults who receive the Pfizer vaccine compared to those who receive the Moderna. The analysis involving over 1.4 million carefully matched individuals adds weight to the growing body of research probing potential non-specific effects of the vaccines. Now, this vaccine was done between MIT, and I'm sure you heard about MIT, and the Florida Department of Health. Guys, share the live, share the live, share the live, share it. Get more people to come in on this, because this is really important. What we are talking here today in this community, and we want other people to know about it. So share the live with your friends and tell them to come on in. We got room for everybody. All right. Here's what the study did. They looked at 1.4 million people in Florida, and those people took 2 doses of Pfizer between December 20th and 2021. And the researchers matched the vaccine recipients across 7 criteria involving their age, their sex, their race, ethnicity, vaccination site, calendar month of vaccination, and census. The primary endpoint was all-cause death within 12 months of receiving the second dose. Secondary endpoints included cardiovascular COVID-19 and non-COVID-19 mortality. You understand what the study is saying here? Huh? The primary endpoint was all-cause mortality within 12 months. To control for confounding, the study incorporated logistic regression, adjusted for census level, social, and all that kind of stuff. Here's what the study found. Here's what the study found. We're going to the key points of the study. Key points of the study, all right? Here's what the key points of the study found. I'm going to give you this one. Key findings. In the matched cohort of people, all-cause death was significantly higher in Pfizer recipients, 842.2 versus 617 deaths per 100,000 persons. They are looking at the deaths between the 2 vaccines. And what they found is that people who took the Pfizer died more than the people who took the Moderna. So in a group of 100,000 people, let's say St. Vincent population is 100,000 people, because that's what it's basically, 100,000 people. They found, the study that MIT did found that those who took the Pfizer vaccine, 847 people died compared to 617 people died from the Moderna. So if you're in St. Vincent and these people took the vaccine, you had 800 people compared to 600 from the Moderna. Cardiovascular, that's what to do with the heart and stuff like that. 2,487 versus 162. So as you can see, the findings would show you that the Pfizer vaccine contributed to cardiovascular mortality or deaths from heart disease and stuff like that, 2,487. COVID-19 mortality was higher in the Pfizer at 55.5 versus 29.5. And the COVID mortality showed a similar pattern, 1.356, really low, really low. These differences were most pronounced among individuals aged 60 and older. All right. So this, what the information I'm giving to you here, a lot of people can't stomach it because some people would have taken it and they don't want to hear about these things now. But this is the reality that is setting on among us. I am quite sure many of you know somebody who took that and is in problems today. But let's listen to what the video has to say from the Joe Rogan podcast. Listen to this. Listen to this carefully.
Okay. Pfizer alone likely killed over 470,000 Americans. They found a 36% increase in all-cause mortality among Pfizer recipients versus Moderna.
Yeah, but they saved millions.
Yeah, I keep hearing that.
Yeah.
COVID-19 mRNA vaccinated. Preliminary results call for further studies of the potential influence of COVID-19 vaccination on human fertility. And I think in that thread, they were talking about what it does to
ovaries,
their eggs and ovaries.
Let's go back to the start.
Pfizer alone likely killed over 470,000 Americans.
Do you hear that? Pfizer alone likely killed over 400,000 Americans. This is a study that was done, not me, not disinformation or misinformation.
They found a 36% increase in all-cause mortality among Pfizer recipients versus Moderna.
Yeah, but they saved millions.
Yeah, I keep hearing that.
You know, I had a friend. There's so many people who have gone and who did, take it and started complaining of stomach problems. Very fit guy in his 40s, never really had that kind of issue before based on his results. And I looked at the results from the autopsy and stuff like that based on a friend, I got to know what's happening. And first thing he did was started to complain of stomach problems, hurting, stuff like that. The first time he went to the doctor and I had a good talk with him, they found clots and stuff in his stomach, lots of it. And based on the findings, they were saying it was recent. It was nothing that has been, And he still went back and took the second shot. And one night he was home, got called from family friends that he was rushed to the hospital, just vomiting, stomach boiling for pain, vomiting. But no blood was coming up though, but just vomiting. And when they got there and they did a scan, man, I tell you what they saw in that stomach was just something to run everybody. I mean, these clots were just swarming inside the leg, things floating around. And then he just died hours after. When they cut that stomach open, man, I'm telling you, when they cut it open, when they cut that body down, God have mercy. Some of the biggest clots you would ever see in your entire life, but they were white and they look like worms swimming around inside there. Thick white worms. I mean, it's just horrible what they found. So this thing that people used to tell us about, and people used to say that we are misinformation and disinformation.
Yeah.
Continue listening to the video though.
COVID-19 mRNA vaccinated. Preliminary results call for further studies of the potential influence of COVID-19 vaccination on human fertility. And I think in that thread, they were talking about what it does to
ovaries,
their eggs and ovaries. Yeah,
that's right there. I didn't know that women were having issues with fertility after this, or that it could cause issues with the eggs. So I'm definitely gonna have to look this up myself because I see his screen, so I can zoom in and find this stuff myself.
Yeah.
Any of you know anybody with issues with fertility? I mean, that's basically having children, Anybody have any issues going on? Know any friends who have that issue right now? There's someone I know that used to have an issue with their menstruation, and they had got it stopped, whatever it was, and that was in the early 2000s. And from the time they took this, they start getting their periods or menstruation 2 and 3 times per month. It's a hell of a
This
thing.
is
Let's
what a
continue
lot of the
though.
conspiracy theorists were talking about when the vax was coming out.
And when I was coming up and the internet was coming out, and used to see certain conspiracy theories, when I tell you, almost all of them I've seen come to fruition, how scary is that? That the tinfoil hat wearing guys that scared you because they were worried about this or that, but you thought they were kooky, were all right. How scary is that?
Yeah, that's really scary. That is really really scary. As a matter of fact, remember in these islands that the leaders became very tyrannical, and some people's Facebook page got took down. Many YouTube channels got disbanded. The government were basically saying that you were anti-vax and that you should be hated among all men, as if you committed this great crime. And now you're not hearing anything from government officials, the same people who are talking about you were conspiracy theory. You're not hearing anything from these people now. Um, where are they? You're not hearing anything from the Ministry of Health in the countries. They're not telling you about all these people who are coming up with so much problems. People just dropping down around you like fly, and people who you knew had no issues all of a sudden, and then now nobody's saying anything. Nobody's saying anything. Every night they used to be on your television. They used to be posting stuff to Facebook saying that you're lying about this, you're lying about that. Some people hated you. Your friends hated you because of what you were saying, and now today nobody's saying anything.
Yeah.
Let's continue listening. Though.
Well, it's like,
Which, by the way, the conspiracy theorists undefeated still.
yeah, conspiracy theorists are
COVID.
way more accurate than CNN.
Yeah, there's a lot of conspiracy theories that haven't come true, and some have been debunked, but they've been right about a lot of stuff. And that's the scary part. Because those are the people are saying you're supposed to point and laugh at and shame them for spreading quote unquote misinformation.
I'm sure a lot of you have seen that in your country as well, where they came about saying that a lot of us are misinforming people, and I'm sure you lost a friend or two over this same pandemic that passed us. And the networks weren't telling us anything. Every Monday morning, they were saying that millions have died, thousands have died. And they show us bodies being stacked. They show us funeral homes being overrun. And we actually said, look, hey, this is just crazy. No one really should be participating in this, and people just, I mean, I remember running my newspaper online that I run currently, St. Vincent Times. It used to be News 784. And I remember people from the government said that I was anti-vax, and they ripped down the website. They basically bombed the website with spam till Google wanted to delete everything I ever did out of their index and stuff like that. Nobody could find me. It's just a horrible time. But we knew that something was just not right. But let's continue.
Pfizer alone likely killed over 470,000 Americans.
Oh,
They found a
God.
36% increase in all-cause mortality among Pfizer recipients versus Moderna.
Yeah, but they saved millions.
Yeah, I keep hearing that. Send Jimmy.
Yeah.
COVID-19 mRNA vaccinated. Preliminary results call for further studies of the potential influence of COVID-19 vaccination on human fertility. And I think in that thread, they were talking about what it does to
Ovaries.
their eggs and ovaries.
That's
Yeah.
right there.
Right. So, guys, um, I don't know. Anyone in the live chat, if you want to reach out to me right now, there's a link that I place at the top of the chat. Please click on it and come in on the live and have a discussion with me, because I mean, I'm open to hearing from people. You may have known somebody who have an issue, who've been affected greatly by this. It's terrible, and the studies are now coming out. The studies are coming out now to say, look, yeah, we heard about saving millions of lives, but yeah, we heard about also a lot of people being left with debilitating illnesses, issues. It's just horrible what's happening right now. It's just really horrible what's happening right now. Really, really horrible. The View 868 says, good day from Trinidad and Tobago. Yeah. vaccines have been causing side effects. I mean, I don't think this is something that these mediums like YouTube and Facebook and all the others should be banning people about, because the evidence is now clear that there are serious side effects with these vaccines. And these are studies done by reputable institutions like MIT and the Florida Department of Health. These are not fake people. These are not people who are just out there just to scare people. These are reputable institutions saying, look, these things have happened, and we really need to take a second look at it. Like I said, I have had more than one friend who got caught up in this and their lives have ended. They've passed this world, and I'm quite sure if they didn't take that stuff, I'm quite sure they would have been alive today. It is horrible what happened to a lot of people. It's horrible. There's a friend of mine, he doesn't go to work anymore because he just can't raise his legs, he can't walk. It just happened. It just happened. His company directed all of them to take it and take the 2 doses. And this is what happened to him. He's home now. He's home on half pay. Very soon, I'm guessing that they'll just stop paying. And that's it for him. He's just going to have to live a life until he just pops out of here. And this is just crazy. And then what I find very strange, people don't want to talk about it. And people seem to be forgetting what happened. And it's coming again. And it is coming again. It is coming again. And while we are all distracted about Diddy's child, Puffy, Puff Daddy, PDD, while we're distracted about that, while we are distracted about the whole issue of tariffs and stuff like that, here is it floating again. Nations have gone and signed the pandemic treaty with all of the knowledge that they have. They have gone to sign the pandemic treaty. They have done it with all of this knowledge out there. And Nikisha Floyd is quite correct. They have done it without the consultation of the public. And what I find very strange is that you don't see it in the news anywhere. You don't see it. I have not seen, except for the newspaper I operate, which is St. Vincent Times. If you go online, you'll find that. Or Facebook, you can follow it. Except for the paper I operate, nobody wrote anything and say that the Ministry of Health and the CMO has gone to Geneva to sign the pandemic treaty. I haven't seen it in any newspaper in the Caribbean that their ministers of health have gone there. It's like everybody has just gone in secret to do whatever they want to do. Nobody's reporting on it, really. Nobody's talking about it. So with all the knowledge we have, we are still making this mistake, and it is coming again. It is coming again. And I can't believe that there are people who actually will fall for this narrative again. Do you know that there are people who will fall for this narrative again? Do you know that? There are people who will fall for it. And that is why I say on this channel, it is the 3 C's. Consciousness of what is happening around you. Having a conviction of knowing what is absolutely not right. And then you spread the word. I tell you, it's coming again, eh? It's coming again. Dale Cupid is asking who locking down where. Friend, I'm going to tell you who's going to be locking down where, but you have to get your mind ready, because a lot of people are still in self-denial, and a lot of people will take these medicines again. They will take them. I can tell you that. They will take them. Every living nation on earth has gone to sign that. All of them. Every one of them. And nobody is consulting with the public, and nobody's reporting it. Nobody. There are a few of us who are talking about it. And like I said on this channel, if you're not conscious, if you're not awakened, if you don't have a conviction, you're not ready for this channel. You're not ready for this channel. Take it from me. Let me get into this thing right now. So while the nations are out there signing the treaty, and while all of us apparently just lost to what is going on, what's the new headline this morning? New COVID-19 variant spreads globally. Health authorities on high alert. Just in time for the signing. Just in time for the signing. Just in time for the signing. Look at the new headline. Go think on that. Go think about that today. Just in time for the signing. New COVID-19 variant spreads globally. Health authorities on high alert. Just in time for the signing. You don't find all of this strange, right? You don't find it strange, huh? You don't find it crazy. You don't find it weird that all of a sudden nations have gone to sign the treaty, and then all of a sudden you hear that there's a new variant that is spreading globally, and health authorities on high alert. Of course, except America. That's right, except America. But it's just so weird. It is just so weird that America is telling their people to prepare for the next one. But they're not saying it is coming from, they're not saying that it's coming from this, They're saying it's coming from the bird flu because all the states are getting problems now. So they're telling Americans to prepare for the next pandemic. Listen to me. Don't be fooled, eh? Let me tell you all something in this world here. Do not be fooled. The last pandemic came about when who was in office? When did it come about? And who did it? And who apparently did that administration say it came and started where? In China, right? Yeah. Let me tell you all something. You all don't be fooled. This is a game that is being played. This is a game that is being played in this universe. And all of us apparently, they're saying, are players in that game. And we are on the stage. That's what they're saying. And a lot of us will be fooled again because we're not conscious of what is happening. A lot of people think because America doesn't sign a treaty, mean that they're not part of a cabal. A lot of you don't know anything about world dominance. Well, then I'm sorry. Very, very sorry. But I'm gonna get in, and somebody's on the live, and I am going to bring them in on the live and let them speak with you right now. So let me bring in that person on the live. I think I have who's with me. Yes, Dale. Let me see. G Ford is on the live. Let me close off this in the middle. Close this off. Let me close this off a minute. Remove this from the screen. All right, my good friend, go right ahead. Let's hear what you have to say. Good morning. Good afternoon to you. Go right ahead. Hello? Go right ahead. Are you hearing me? All right. I think we have some problems there with Ford. Ford may not be hearing us. So when Ford organizes himself, Ford can come back in because I'm not sure what's happening with Ford right there. But anyway, if you think for one moment, if you only think for one moment that America doesn't know what's happening, then you're just not ready yet for this game. I'm not sure if G Ford is having some problems. G Ford, are you having some issues with your stream? When you get in, you have to turn off whatever you're listening to if you want to get in on the action. You have to turn off whatever you're listening to, and then you wait for me to bring you in when you come up on the live. So guys, those of you who want to come in on the stream, I think many of you out there want to come in on the stream. Click the link above that you see pinned there. Come in and talk to me. I'm quite sure that you have a friend. That have suffered something from this last pandemic that they had going on there. Nikisha says, remember Stargate. Of course. And Omari Huggins says the elite psychos are pushing to continue their agenda. Absolutely. Ray Mitchell said it's all about the money. And Shelly says people need the spiritual eyes open. Well, that's just it. A lot of people don't have their eyes open. They just don't. They're not conscious to what's happening around them. They're not conscious to what's taking place. They're not aware of what's happening. And we are sounding the alarm. That is what we're doing. We are sounding the alarm for you to go forward and tell others about it. That's why I said to you, share the live with everybody. Guys, I need to hear from you today. Do not be afraid to come in and speak on this live. This is what this platform is about. Other people have programs and they wish to speak down to you. I don't do that. I want you to come and have a conversation with me. The link is above. Click on the link and join the live and say what you have to say. You need to speak up. That's why we learn from each other. When you speak up, we learn from each other. And that's why I said it's all about this treaty being signed. And all of a sudden, a new COVID variant is spreading globally, and health authorities are now on the alert because of it. You don't see anything familiar here. You don't see anything that just looks familiar that is happening right now. You don't see anything that looks familiar. Huh? Let me go into this information for you. CDC, who many of us don't trust anymore, says that the airport screening program in the US has detected cases of the new COVID-19 variant NB1.81, which has been linked to a large surge of the virus in China. How is it? How is it that all of a sudden it's now linked to a large surge of the virus in China? So there's a new one again, a new COVID variant. But it's linked to a large surge of the virus in China. Have you been hearing anybody telling you about this issue in China? Have you been hearing anything from your authorities about this new thing in China? Have you heard anything? Have you heard anything about it? I guess you haven't heard anything about it. Have you been seeing it in the news? They've not been talking about it. But just as they've signed the new pandemic treaty, all of a sudden, this new variant is up. It's up, and it's linked to a large surge in China. How convenient, right? Just how convenient. Cases linked to this new variant has been reported in arriving international travelers at airports in where? California, Washington State, Virginia, and New York, according to records uploaded by the CDC, right? Details about the sequencing were published in recent works by the Global Initiative on Sharing All Influenza Data. It says that the cases from travelers from a number of countries, including where? Japan, South Korea, France, Thailand, the Netherlands, Spain, Vietnam, China, and Taiwan. Listen to it again. The cases stem from travelers from a number of countries, including where? Japan, South Korea, France, Thailand, the Netherlands, Spain, Vietnam, China, and Taiwan. So look at the play, right? They're signing the pandemic treaty in Europe. And the cases are now coming from Japan, South Korea, France, which is in Europe, Thailand in Asia, of course, South Korea in Asia, Netherlands in Europe, Spain is in Europe, Vietnam in Asia, China, of course, and Taiwan in Asia, the Asian countries. And the travelers were tested from April 22nd through May the 12th, the records show. Isn't it interesting that all these people from around the globe have gone to Europe to follow and to sign this pandemic treaty? Isn't it strange that all of them have gone to Europe to sign this treaty? And where is this virus, and where does the people are showing up from with this problem? I tell you all, enough. This channel is not for the faint of heart, the weak people, because we like to open eyes and we like to discuss real things, not just comments, not the comments. Nah, I'm not into the comments. A lot of people can't take because I'm not into the comments. Not into the comments. All right, let me just drink some water here. And it says cases of the N1H1 have also now been reported by health authorities in states such as where? Ohio, Rhode Island, and Hawaii. Separate from airport cases in California. Earliest cases date back to late March and early April. So where are they going? Where are they now? So from Europe, from China, Asia to Europe, and cases are now being reported where? In Ohio, Rhode Island, and Hawaii. Guys, I would not be surprised if by next week they tell you in the Caribbean there are new cases of this virus. I would not be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. Spiritual wickedness in high places. The demons have let loose for another time. And this 2025 would not be an easy one for many people. You better get ready. You better get ready. I have someone I plan to bring on to spend at least a 15 minutes with you, who going to tell you all about remedies that you can use. But I'm not going to say certain things because this platform, they deplatform you for no reasons except for telling the truth, right? So I'm not going to go into deep into that. But the point about it is the demons from hell have been summoned for a second time. For a second time. Do you know that the last time that we went through 2020 to 2023, do you know how many mental health cases that we've had in the world now? Do you know there's been an explosion of mental health cases in the world? I'm quite sure a lot of you have been seeing all these things about people on your television. I'm quite sure you've been seeing a lot of people um, on aircraft just going crazy, they're just behaving wild and wacky and out of the place. Do you think that these people just behaving so because they want to behave like that? Hmm? Mental health cases have exploded internationally. Let me tell you something, human beings were made to socialize with one another. They were made to socialize with one another. They were made to talk to one another, not locked down in an environment and can't get out. And so a lot of people went mad during the last rounds. And they have no use to the world anymore. If you're mad, that's what they say. You're of no use to anybody. No use. That's what they tell you. And they're looking forward to have more of us. More of us. They're looking forward to having more of us again in that situation. Be strong. Be strong. Diet is important. Sunlight is important. Very, 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 very important. Very important. A lot of mental health cases have exploded worldwide. In the Caribbean, many of the islands, I have never seen so many young people walking around with mental health issues in the last 2 years. Never. Never. And they're coming again. They are coming again. We have to sound the alarm. We have to sound the alarm. Watchmen on the walls of Zion can't be sleeping at a time like this. You cannot be sleeping on guard, because if you're sleeping on guard, they will have you taken out. You understand what I'm saying to you? Let me continue the information. They said experts have been closely watching the variant, which is now dominant in China. Always China, right? Always China. And is on the rise in parts of Asia. Hong Kong authorities say that rates of the COVID in the city have climbed to the worst level they've seen in at least a year, after a significant increase in reported emergency room visit and hospitalization driven by COVID-19. I want to stop there for a minute. I want to get back to something. I want to stop there for a minute. I want to stop there for a minute. I want to ask you a question. I want to ask you a question. Have you noticed that a lot of people are just going around with this cold, this infection that they have now? They're calling it cold. I don't think it's common cold. We never used to have common cold like that, where you would have it going on for days and weeks. And when it's about to go, it starts rattling on the chest at the same time. And that continues for weeks. I've encountered a lot of people like that all of a sudden. That's not common cold. That's not the normal common cold anymore. We don't have common cold anymore. And that's why I say to you, I will not be surprised that within the next few weeks, these countries in the Caribbean will start to tell you that you have to wear mask again. As a matter of fact, they're mandating it now in certain institutions. There must be a reason why they're doing it in some of these Caribbean islands. And I'll have to go get more information, because I wanted a video for later about that. This is not just your average common cold. Do not sleep on guard. Do not be sleeping on guard, people. Let me continue with the information. It says, while authorities in Hong Kong say there is no evidence that the variant, a descendant of the XDV lineage of virus, is more severe, they have begun urging residents to mask when in public transportation or crowded places, as cases have climbed. You understand what I'm saying to you? Do you understand what is happening here? So they've begun the masking again because cases have begun to climb. Just in time for the new pandemic treaty that is signed, just in time, they're telling their people to mask up again because cases are climbing. Health authorities in Taiwan have also reported a rise in emergency room visits, severe cases, and deaths. Local health authorities say they are stockpiling. Listen to this. Health authorities in Taiwan have also reported a rise in emergency room visits, severe cases, and deaths. Local health authorities say they are stockpiling vaccines and antiviral treatments in response to the epidemic waves. Common cold doesn't exist. And that's correct, my friend. It doesn't exist anymore. It doesn't exist anymore. And says it got the same thing last year. Marie Antoinette's Sahara dust has been identified as a fact as well. Yes, and I'll tell you something. Saharan dust is not the regular Saharan dust. You hear me? It's not the regular Saharan dust. It's been identified in studies in Europe. It's not the regular Saharan dust that we're having anymore. What is happening is that we're having some dust, yes. But what is happening? All of the bombs that are going off in places like Russia and Ukraine contributes to what you're seeing coming over as Saharan dust. It's not really Saharan dust per se. We do have Saharan dust, but it's mixed now. And what they're finding in this dust that they're calling Saharan dust now, they're finding specimens of blood from human beings that have been killed, animals that have been killed from these bombs. They're falling when they come over here. They're falling in our water supply. They're in the air that we're breathing in now, and that's why we have to be so careful. And they're producing sickness now. They're part of what is happening. So we are surrounded. We are being surrounded, my friends. We are being surrounded by so many things. We are being surrounded. We are being encircled again. We are being encircled again. You understand what's happening here? We are being encircled one more time. Of course, in the last one, the mask really didn't help. The mask just didn't help. So let's go again. Taiwan, it says Taiwan has also reported emergency room visits, severe cases, and deaths. Local authorities say they are stockpiling vaccines and antiviral treatments in response to the epidemic wave. Preliminary data from researchers in China suggests that the NB18.1 variant is not better at evading the immune system compared to the other strains on the rise, but it does have a greater factor in binding to human cells, suggesting it could be more transmissible. That is the part that you have to take. That is the part that you have to take and bear in mind. You hear? That is the part that you have to keep in mind. That it is binding to human cells, suggesting it could be more transmissible. So guys, I'm warning you. Be on guard. Be on guard because it is happening. It is coming again. They're preparing for it. The demons have let loose one more time. And that is something that you must pay great attention to. Do not be caught off guard this time around. Do not be caught off guard this time around. The link, I left it in the chat section. I'm not sure if anybody wants to make a contribution. There are a lot of people in the chat. There are a lot of people talking in the chat. Click on the link and get in. Click on the link and get in, and let's have a conversation here. I see Wilma Patterson online. We also see, who else do we have? Shelly George. We have Ray Mitchell. We have Bianca, Benicia, I believe. Benicia. We also have JJ. We have, I believe we have Cedric Antoine as well. We have Shanja Graham. I think we have Debbie Bourne as well online. Vindra as well. Jodian, I think, is online with us as well. Nehemiah is there with us. How do I pronounce this one? Tota Tutakui, I hope I pronounced that correctly. Forgive me, forgive me, forgive me. And says there has been a spike in persons developing cardiovascular illness in Barbados. Shelley George made an important point: when they damage the body, how and sick, how can the Holy Spirit live in it and be able to do the work for the Lord? Devil is a liar. Absolutely. There are a lot of people here. View, I think View 686 was also there with us. I think Nikisha Floyd was on with us as well. Angela is on with us as well. Dale Cupid is there with us. Mr. Irons is there. Terry is well there. Richard is with us today as well. There are a lot of people in the chat, a lot of people in the chat. Guys, I've left a link there. Please click on it. Get in. Let's discuss this matter. Anyone who wants to share any experience that they've had, maybe with friends who probably had some problems with the issue, and also your thoughts on what's coming up next. If you wish to get in, click on the link and let's have a discussion. I'm gonna give you about 2-3 minutes to do that, and then we get flip out of here because I know it's a lunch hour. People want to get back to their work and stuff like that. Don't be shy. Nobody's gonna do you anything. Just click on the link that's pinned to the chat and get in and have a discussion here. I'm quite sure many of you may want to say something. I don't like to talk to people like that all the time. I like people to respond and say something back to me. I like to see them interacting with me. I've never believed in just talking down to people or just giving people information. I like to know that they've collected the information, they understand what is happening, and they can also pass on the message. That's very, 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 very important. So if any of you wish to do that, click on the link and let's have a discussion. If not, I'm gonna let you guys get back to your job. Then it's the midday hour, and I chose this time because I know you may have a few minutes to spare, and you may be able to watch and get the information, and you can pass on the live after we finish. All right. So if not, I just want to thank you guys for joining me today, and I am going to basically wrap things up right now. But before I do that, I am going to play this one more
Pfizer
time.
alone likely killed over 470,000 Americans.
Oh,
They found a
God.
36% increase in all-cause mortality among Pfizer recipients versus Moderna.
Yeah, but they saved millions.
Yeah, I keep hearing that. Send Jimmy.
Yeah.
COVID-19 mRNA vaccinated. Preliminary results call for further studies of the potential influence of COVID-19 vaccination on human fertility. And I think in that thread, they were talking about what it does to
Ovaries.
their eggs and ovaries. Yeah.
That's right there.
I didn't know that women were having issues with fertility after this, or that it could cause issues with the eggs. So I'm definitely gonna have to look this up myself because I see a screen, so I can zoom in and find this stuff myself.
Yeah. This is what a lot of the conspiracy theorists were talking about when the vax was coming out.
And when I was coming up and the internet was coming out, and I used to see certain conspiracy theories, when I tell you, almost all of them I've seen come to fruition. How scary is that? That the tin-foil hat wearing guys that scared you because they were worried about this or that, but you thought they were kooky, were all right. How scary is that?
Yeah. Well, it's like,
Which, by the way, the conspiracy theorists are undefeated still.
yeah, conspiracy theories are way more accurate than CNN.
Yeah, there's a lot of conspiracy theories that haven't come true, and some have been debunked, but they've been right about a lot of stuff. And that's the scary part. Because those are the people are saying you're supposed to point and laugh at and shame them for spreading quote unquote misinformation.
You know what the sad part about this whole thing is? That there will be people who will hear, still don't believe, and still ride the hell train when it comes around this time. You understand what I'm saying to you? There are people who will ride the hell train again this time around. Let's bring in Natasha George. Natasha, good afternoon to you. Hello? Natasha, are you there with us? I'm not sure what's happening. Natasha, I see like there's I'm not sure what's happening, the guys. I'm not sure what's happening, but people are coming in, but looks like they're not hearing. So maybe somebody has done something to our stream here. Not sure what's happening, but looks like we're not getting the people in. Guys, you have to follow the instructions. Get on in and make sure you give permissions to your microphone. Make sure you give permissions to the necessary things, and we can bring you in. We can bring you in, and you could be able to talk to us. I certainly would love to hear from you guys, but it looks like we're having some problems with people coming in on the live. I'm not sure what's happening there, but I'm gonna try myself to see if I can come in on the live and see if persons will be able to hear me. Let me see if I could join the stream. So I'm joining the stream right now. All right, putting everything together. Allow this time. I'm going to allow. Yep. Enter my name. All right. And I'm going to join the stream. Yep. So So I actually got in on the stream myself. So it means that it's working. So it means that guys, you're not doing something right. Those of you who are coming in, you're not doing something right. You're supposed to register your name, give your mic the necessary permission, and then you'll be able to speak with me. Because I just got in. I just got in right there myself, as you can see. So guys, listen to me. Things are gonna happen again. It's gonna be coming our way again, and just I'm gonna get somebody to come in and talk to you maybe next week or a week after, once the person is available, and they will be able to give you some remedies down the natural part that you will be able to deal with as well. If you wish to call me on WhatsApp, you can call me on WhatsApp as well. The number is 53392 60. That number is there. If you wish to call me, you can call me via WhatsApp, and I can bring you in as well, and others will be able to hear what you have to say if you need to make a contribution to the program. But if not, gonna pack it up, guys. Want to thank you for joining me today. I know many of you want to get back to your jobs. Want to thank you for being here and for looking on. Pass the message along. We're not just here to talk down to each other, but we're here to give one another information you can use. As I said, the demons have let go again a second time, and all things are being put together. So, guys, take care. Next time, those of you who wish to come in on the live, follow the instructions properly, and you'll be able to come in and talk to me and share your information as well. Have a great day. Those of you who've joined us, we thank you for joining us, and we look forward for another program with you on board. Remember, we're here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Sometimes we pop in based on what's happening, but Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, look out. Remember to click notifications when you subscribe to the channel, so you'll be able to listen and get notifications about the program. Thanks a lot, guys.